Hi, Flosstube. Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches. This is my update number 262, take 2. I started it before and I hit pause for a second and then I forgot. I don't know, didn't do it. Didn't do it right. So I had done my whole video and I looked up and I had recorded just a few seconds of it. So anyway, I'm starting over again. Today is, of course, December 24th, Christmas Eve. And Merry Christmas to all of you. And hope your preparations or your festivities are going well. By the time you see this, I don't know if you'll see it on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, a few days later, whatever. I don't know. But so we're kind of gearing up. We had a little bit of a, I meant to say, and I'm glad I'm redoing this because I didn't say it before. We had a little bit of a disappointment. My niece flew home from Boston, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, and had been feeling a little crummy when she left. And so she took a test and she has COVID. So fortunately, we had not interacted, her family and our family, whatever. My aunt just flew in last night, and that was an ordeal. But so we're having sort of separate Christmas Eves, and then we're going to get together later on after they've quarantined for a few days to exchange gifts and stuff like that with her family. So, like I said, we're having Rachel over tonight, along with Peyton, Robert's girlfriend, and my aunt Mary Lou is here. So we're gonna have a little Christmas get together, the Christmas Eve get together we were planning tonight here at our house, and then church in the morning, and then we were originally gonna all get together at Naomi's house, but that's off also. So so later on this week, I guess we're gonna have more gift exchange stuff going on. So in a way, we're having 2 Christmases, whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. So like I said, my aunt. Originally, the plan was that Naomi was going to go pick up my aunt at the airport, and then obviously she couldn't. So we went, and with all this storm delay that's going on, for one thing, Hannah's flights were delayed, and so she got in kind of late, and then last night my aunt's flight was delayed. She was originally going to be getting in like around 9 o'clock at night or whatever, but then her flight was delayed or whatever, and it was delayed till 10. So I went with my sister Eve. We drove out there. We drove out there, and because she had gotten a message that that her plane was scheduled to land like at 10:15. So we got out there a little after 10, and I stayed in the car, and Eve went in, and a little while later she texted that Mary Lou's flight had landed, and it was like not quite 10 after 10 or thereabouts. So I thought, okay, they should be out, make 30 minutes or so to get the luggage and all that, with all the people and all that. And then like 30 minutes had gone by and she hadn't, and so I thought, well, maybe I somehow, didn't get the text or something, or maybe she. So I texted Naomi, to see if she'd heard anything from Eve. And I texted Eve to say, are you still in there? What's going on? And Naomi hadn't heard anything, and then eventually Eve, texted that it was a little bit of a zoo in there, and I guess they had the luggage supposedly, were using a certain carousel was on the little screen, and then all of a sudden it was gone, and the carousel stopped, and her luggage wasn't there. And what they had done is somehow they had switched. They decided to use another carousel, I guess, and they hadn't announced it or anything, and wasn't on the screen, and so it was just taking forever. And I was like, trying, checking. They were still waiting for the bags, and it was, and so at midnight. So this is like 2 hours later. They finally came out with the baggage. Hold on a second. So so, you know, by that time, of course, none of us had eaten dinner. You know, Mary Lou had been at the airport since I don't know when, and even I had thought, you know, well, we'll get something on the way home because I'm sure, you know, Mary Lou want to eat something. You know, we'll stop at, you know, somewhere, drive through or whatever, right? So at midnight though, everything is closed basically. So we came home and, you know, finally ate some just made sandwiches and, you know, whatever. It was like exhausting evening. But everybody's, you know, arrived safely. And then, of course, you know, all the COVID stuff was going on. So we've had to punt, you know, and make different plans. But anyway, so that was one Christmas adventure. And another one, a nicer thing is I got a few cards. There's one for my cousin, Mary, and my friend Kevin. This real pretty little sparkly thing, and it's like they're like it's like 3D kind of like I want to say glued on or whatever, you know, that attached separate from the card. So it's real pretty. There's a little star up there, and some sparkly little trees. And then my friend Jen sent this real pretty nativity scene. So anyway, then the other thing I have is my WIPGO stitching for the end of December. This is Tinymodernist Santa's house, and I just barely have the, you know, I have the frame of the little wooden floors of the house that were given to us, so with the beginning of, this is a mystery cell, and then I have like, this is I think the first part of the cell. I have a little bit of this done. So as you can see, let me put this over here. Yeah, I have very little done. So that, like I said, they had given us the framework of the floors of the house, and then I did you know, the snowman and the snow on the bottom, and I think with the first reindeer. But so and part of the stove. So this week I finished a little bit more. I finished the blue part of this snow. Ooh, sorry. This band of snow that's by the floor. I had done just the white part of it, and I had not done the, you know, the blue, the light blue edging in there. And I had not done, I think, this nutcracker over here. And the snow. So it's just his leg and his pants and his belt that I did. And I actually had worked on this snow band while we were doing our video last week, and I had to pull out a whole big section of it because it would have messed it up, you know. Because I had left out some of the blue in this section. I had forgotten to do some of it, so I had to fix that. So, and then I did this darker blue. I finished the darker blue of the stove, and I did a little bit of white there just because I had some white left. And then on this is what I spent most of the time on, really, it seems like. Well, I did like just random blobs of white that I had left out, so I finished some of that. And I want to think, I don't remember if I had done the belt and the eyes of this elf before. I think I had not. So I did that. And I think I had done, this reindeer was already done. I haven't done his hooves yet, I've realized just now. But so I did the hooves and the eyes and the antlers of this middle reindeer, and then finished this guy over here. And I think I did all the white except there's one little white drop, snowdrop, right here by this black. This is the lantern on the back of the sleigh. So I realized I missed that one little blob of snow there. But, so this nutcracker and snow was already done, along with the snowman, part of the snowman. I still didn't do his carrot nose. I have to, but I did this green. This is one shade of green. There's like two in these, in this snowman. I mean, this tree. So I did one shade in these little elf feet here. And I did this, part of the tablecloth. Part of it was this blue color, that same light blue that's in the snow here, and then this green that's here on this tree. So I finished the tree, this part of the tree. These little squares are ornaments, lights on the tree, and they're like strung across the roof here, the ceiling. But so I just did this green line on the tree thing. So this is 10 days of Santa's house, and the 10th day was the day of this surgery. So I just did a little bit of that one on that day. I'll get to that story later. And then my other WIPGO pull for December, my last one, is in this endangered species gray wolf, which is this one down here. This wolf. And this is full coverage for this little oval, not quite square here. It's all full coverage, so it's very pixelated. This is by Cross My Heart, is the designer group, and I'm sure this booklet is out of print. This is from 1988. It's booklet. It says CSB 32 is the booklet. So if it's available at all, it's on eBay or whatever. So, but the one I did here was the gray wolf on the bottom. And as I've said before, half the battle with this one is like figuring out what I've stitched or what I hadn't, and because when I first did it, I didn't have a working copy of it. This is but so you can see the wolf's face there, and I'd done his ear. But so what was there was nothing up here above his ear and in front of his ear in this upper section up here. So this is all I've done really, was working on this. And I realized last night when I was stitching, I had miscounted like right here. And all of this section over here is one square over this way too much. So, but it's easily fixable because it's just background, pixelated stuff. So I can just, adjust it, no big deal. But yeah, so, and I am an out and back stitcher, and so it's easy to make a mistake in a situation like this because of the way I do it. So yeah, that's what that mistake is. I could have just done, but try to find my way around, find the symbol in the sea of dense symbols that it is. It was easier to do it this way actually than because of getting back to where I started, whatever. So yeah, so a few more days working on this, and I'll put it away to add it to my WIPGO board again. So yeah, this gray wolf. Anyway, so my plans for next year, next week I want to do a whip parade to see what I'm going to be working on in the coming year. But so for this week, I had to do a little FFOing because of Christmas presents, and so next year I'm going to do some WIPGO, some FFOing, and some new starts. And so my WIPGO board is probably going to be a little complicated by that, but it should hopefully help me get some FFOs done. And speaking of FFOs, this is the Snow Globe Magic I had shown before. I had finished it, and this is for my nephew Rob's girlfriend Peyton. And it's a little ornament shape that came from Hobby Lobby, I believe, and it's just, or maybe I don't know. I got some things at Hobby Lobby, some things I got at the dollar spot at Target, and I can't remember now offhand where I found these little ornaments. It was just a little 3-pack, but they're kind of distressed, this white finish on there. It's kind of a distressed looking, finish. But so my sister had a template that was the right size for this. So I cut out front and back of these. This is a fabric that I had, just a little fabric like fat quarter or something. I got it at Hobby Lobby, I think. And so I covered these. There's just a little cardboard, that I used to do it. And I should have put some like fiberfill underneath it just to give it a little poof, so that it wouldn't be so flat. But whatever. I didn't think about. I didn't really have time or energy to do all that. So this is Snow Globe Magic. So I just covered the little discs, and then I had this baker's twine. I wanted to put something on here to cover up where it's not perfectly round, and it's also not quite big enough for the ornament shape, so you can see a little bit of it. And it wasn't so much a problem here because it's white, but back here on this side it's unfinished. It's this sort of MDF finish, and I didn't want it to be kind of ugly. So I put the baker's twine around it to give it a little bit of framing. And then the side, I had some ribbon that you'll see in a minute, that it's like a cloth ribbon, and it has like Christmas trees on it, and it's sort of this natural color, burlap color. And I thought it would have looked perfect on here, but it was too wide for the ornament shape. And so it was kind of like making a little bit of a shadow on the finish here, and I just didn't like the way it looked. So I just did 2 rows of this baker's twine, and it's just glued on there on the side. So this baker's twine is from, I think it's from Michael's, but I'm not sure. I had one spool I got at Hobby Lobby, and another set of 3 spools I got at Michael's. So last year. But I just made a little bow on there to help cover up back here, to help cover up this finish. But so yeah, you could hang it on a tree, and it's both sides are kind of cute. And so yeah, this is Snow Globe Magic, and this is by Brenda Gervais with a needle and thread. She made a little. I talked about it last week, I think. A little booklet that has a bunch of snowman family little pictures in there, that little small, I think they're like 7 pin pillow designs you can use. But so yeah, I finished it instead of as a pillow, I finished it as an ornament. And then the other thing I had talked about, these finishes I have with that are by Dawn Friske, I want to say, from her this 2020 edition of Just CrossStitch magazine. I think these are both by her. This one is the Gnome Gnome for the Holidays, and so this is that ribbon that I was gonna use on the ornament, and it's just a little bit too wide for that ornament. So this is the Gnome for the Holidays design, and it's 1/1 basically on 22 count. I think it's Hardinger cloth that I had tea dyed myself, tea dyed or coffee dyed or whatever. I don't remember which. But these little jingle bells, the design, the finished design, it was finished as an ornament originally, and it had like a little mini jingle bell on the top, and then a regular size jingle bell on the bottom, in the middle of the bottom here. And instead, I probably do have a regular size jingle bell, but I don't know where it is. So but I had these little mini jingle bells, and so I chose the red and green ones there, and stuck them on the corners, the 4 corners of the design, or sewed them on, and then the little tree ribbon, I think I just glued it onto. I just cut a piece of cardboard for the ornament's shape, a little bit bigger than the ornament, and then put this this ribbon stuff around to frame it. And then I had this little house shape I bought at Michael's, I think, in the dollar spot. And so there's a little bit, there's this little one, and then there's one that's just a little bit larger. This one just fits in it, you know. But this had that green background. I thought that would just be perfect, you know. And so it's just glued in there on the back, back in there. And then I forgot I had these little, there's little stickers that I got in the at Hobby Lobby in the paper crafts. It's just a little clear thing that has these little stickers, and I just stuck them on there. One says Santa is here, and the other says Merry Christmas. There he is. So this just, you know, can stand with on there. So that's Gnome for the holidays. And this one, I can't remember the name of it now. I don't know if it's Christmas Wishes, or I don't remember what. But this was also in that magazine. And so I just noticed that this is, you know, I should have put a ribbon or something around there, because it's just slightly less than square, than round, or it's, you know. But again, I just cut a shape and glued it, the design to the back, to the cardboard. And I had this little sleigh, again, I bought at the dollar spot at Michael's last year. And I just, you know, just strung these little jingle bells on a thread and stuck them to the sleigh. And then these are again some stickers that I had from Hobby Lobby that are on there. And then this is another spool of ribbon that I had bought. I think I bought them at Michael's, the little trees, and this is just red with a little green, you know, dash through it. But yeah, so it has, yeah, it came with a little hanger thing, so you can hang it up a little. Yeah. So so those are my 3 FFOs. And actually that little thread with the jingle bells was hard to do because of this hand. I could use my fingers fine, but this bandage thing gets in the way. You know, it just, you know, hooks on stuff, and you know, and I'm trying to keep it clean. And, you know, I'm not supposed to get it wet. I'm not supposed to, you know, but yeah. So it's, you know, it's hard to, like, I can eat now with them. When I first had the nerve block on this, my arm was like a noodle. I couldn't move it at all. I could barely get in the van when, you know, my sister was driving me home, and so the nurse, you know, brought me in a wheelchair, brought me out of the facility, and I was trying to get in the van, but like ordinarily, because of the stroke that I had, my right side is a little weak. You can't tell. I can move my hand around. I can, you know, but when it comes to like pulling myself up in the van, what I usually do is I put my left leg in, and then, you know, I can lean on my left arm, and I have used the little handle thing up here to, you know, lift myself into the seat and all that. And I'm used to, you know, you could just usually, you know, you just put your arms down and, you know, lift yourself up and scoot around or whatever. And I couldn't do that because I couldn't put lean on this arm at all. It was just, like I said, like a kind of a useless thing. And like when I like, if I reached over to my sister, it would just like flop over, you know. I couldn't control my arm at all. And the nurse had helped me get dressed and everything, but because I had I took a button down shirt, you know, it says, because you couldn't, you know, like lift your arm up to put it in the sleeve or whatever. So and I was freezing. It was so cold. But anyway, so but she had forgotten to take the IV pat thing out of my arm, the little thing that they hook the IV to. She had left it in there because she said, well, you know, just in case, you know, on your way out when you're in the wheelchair or whatever, in case you have have need of some bizarre accident or something, we want to leave that in there as long as possible and then take it out, just before you go to get in the van. But she'd forgotten in all of the thing about me trying to get in the van. She'd forgotten to take the IV out. so she had already gone back in the building and we were getting ready to leave, and I think I went to move my arm and I realized I still had that thing, because my sleeve was kind of down covering it. So Eve had to go back in and find the nurse to come back out and take it out of there. It was kind of a little bit of a goofy mess. But so anyway, so I have this bandage, and after a while I was able to like lift my arm up, but I still couldn't control like from the elbow down. It was just a noodle, and I couldn't even lean like on trying to put my arm on something to lean on. I couldn't even lean on my elbow, and it was hard like getting in and out of bed and things like that, because I'm used to being able to put my arm down and just like trying to figure out how to maneuver around my everyday life, going to the bathroom, everything, So, but fortunately now it's fine. I can, I'm just bandaged up, and this bandage, kind of gets in the way. I can't take a shower with it, and things like that. So I'm having to like use the washcloth to sort of, do a little bit of washing. And we were talking about my nephew Eli. He can't use his right hand. He's left-handed by force, but he can't use his right hand for really much of anything. And so he has to figure out ways to brush his teeth, put on deodorant, go to the bathroom, do all those physical things with really just the use of one hand. And it's I had to deal with it very briefly, but yeah. How do you wash one hand when I can't use this hand? I can use my fingertips now. I to put soap on my hand, whatever, As a matter of fact, I'm in desperate need of a good slathering of lotion. I put a little bit on, but, I can't do my usual, like I said, slathering that I do. Especially, because it's so, my hands are so dry. And I had to shower like Sunday night and Monday morning for the procedure on Monday, and so I it's gotten dried out as like an autumn leaf or something, and I haven't been able to really do things right. It's just a mess. But fortunately, on the 29th, I have to keep this on until the 29th. I have an appointment with a little fix. Hopefully some of that. At least I'll probably have a smaller bandage. They'll probably take the stitches out, but so anyway. But it's coming along pretty well. So that's I think that's everything. I don't want to I'm gonna have a regular. Excuse me, just a minute. I think that's everything that I want to talk about. This is a short video because I know everybody has Christmas Eve preparations to do, and so next week I hope to be able to do a whip parade for all the stuff that's going to be on my WIPGO board next year, and I still haven't found that. Need to find the list of, because I wrote down all my WIPGO stuff, and now I don't know what I did with it. So, but so I can figure out what's going to be on my WIPGO board for next year. Probably almost everything. I had like, I want to say 4 or 5 finishes off of my WIPGO board for this year. And I had a couple finishes for CrossStitch camp. But almost everything that was on my WIPGO board for this past year will be on there again. Plus, I want to put my rabbit patterns on there, and we'll see what else I have, because I have, at least another 20. Excuse me, sorry, I moved my camera. At least another 25 projects, that would go on the WIPGO board anyway. I have at least 25, probably more. So I'm gonna try to do, like I said before, maybe shorter goals on the WIPGO stitching, which means I won't make as much progress, as I have been making. But I also want to put FFOs on there and new starts. And so hopefully with all of that, I'll get, have some new good progress going on each week, each month, we'll see. I don't know. So, but that's everything. So I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and take care of yourselves. Stay healthy, stay happy. Hope you have some good times with all of your friends and family. And I will see you next week on New Year's Eve. So I think that's it. That's everything. See you later. Bye. Thanks for watching.